$120 versus $4,200 electric pressure washer. We're going to run them through some tests to see how they compare, but first let's introduce the fighters. Our first option is the $120 AI Volt pressure washer, boasting 3000 psi, 2.6 gallons per minute, coming with a bunch of different nozzles, a foam cannon, and weighing around 20 pounds. This compact, affordable, lightweight, and easy to use electric pressure washer represents our low end. And on our high end, retailing for $4,200 is the Hotzi 333 electric pressure washer with 1200 psi, 1.7 gallons per minute, and weighing 163 pounds. It also has a diesel burner to be able to heat the water to near boiling temperatures. This absolute unit of a portable electric pressure washer represents the best money can buy.
Coming out of the gate already, the AI Volt actually has a bit of a leg up because not only is it legitimately $4,000 cheaper, but statistically it actually looks like it is a bit better. So we're going to run through a few different tests to try to see if it actually is better or if it's just a whole lot of talk.
Now my Jaguar F-Type is pretty dirty and I want to give it a good clean. So what I'm going to do is essentially we're going to wash the car by halves. One half is going to be our $4,000 pressure washer and the other half is going to be our $100 pressure washer.
Now obviously you guys may be thinking that the chemicals are going to do the majority of the work, so you're really not going to be able to see how well the pressure washer itself is actually doing, but we're going to start by washing it without any chemicals at all. I'm going to go ahead and spray one side off with the $3,000 pressure washer, one side off with the $100 pressure washer, and then we'll compare results and go from there. And the chemicals will be a part of the equation later on because it's actually one of the bigger reasons why I got the $4,000 pressure washer for my detailing business is because of the heater, and you will see why later.
And it's on. No noise, but it's on.
The first thing that I need to note about the Hotzi is that it actually takes a while to get the water to heat up. So it's not just a plug and go in the same way the AI Volt is. It takes around 30 to 45 seconds for the heat to come, but when it does, it is glorious.
Is a blow-off valve. Listen to this. That's awesome. So I forgot to show you the other side because I kind of hooked it all up and ran through every single test one side at a time because I only have one hose because I'm a married man. Loyal, but the Hotzi did do a better job at getting the debris off the side. Strength-wise, it does feel like the Hotzi is a little more powerful despite having less PSI and less gallons per minute, but the AI Volt is pretty stinking capable as is. But I do have to be objective, and the Hotzi is a bit more powerful, so it does get the dub on spraying off the side.
You could see those flecks kind of in the middle of the screen, and those weren't quite able to be gotten off by the pressure washer from AI Volt, and they were from the Hotzi. Now it's very, very minor, and we're still gonna hit it with the chemicals, but this is just one quick point for the Hotzi.
Again, I do need to clarify that the AI Volt did not do poorly. In fact, for a freaking $120 pressure washer, it's pretty stinking good so far. The thing weighs 20 pounds total. It takes 2 seconds to hook up. You flick it on, it's got a blow-off valve, and it works amazing. So again, despite Hotzi winning, which it will probably win the majority, if not all of these things, remember that it is a $4,000 pressure washer, so you would sure hope that it would win. But nonetheless, this thing is pretty stinking cool. That gap between 120 and 4,000 may seem a little excessive.
The next test was washing wheels, the cars, and comparing the foam cannons. Now at this point I am using chemicals, and I am using the identical chemicals on both sides, including what's in the foam cannons. The purpose isn't necessarily to compare the cleaning power, but when you're detailing a car, time is money. So what I'm doing now is comparing how long it takes to spray off each side, and in addition, I'm not drying the cars by hand. So any remaining chemical stains will be visible if either pressure washer doesn't get them completely off. Another thing that I need to note is that I am using a foam cannon that comes from a professional detailing supplier for the Hotzi, and the one that came with a kit for the AI Volt. The point is to compare the absolute best versus the least expensive and to see how much difference there actually is.
At this point, the car's inside and we're gonna go ahead and let it completely air dry, or at least for as long as we can, because I wanna see how well things dry off without me actually wiping it down with a rag. Now, obviously we washed the car, but the things I'm looking for are things like possible chemical stains or where any soap just dried still on the car. Now, I can tell you so far that, again, the hot seat is winning. And again, it kind of comes down to pressure, but also mixture of heat. Now, one of the things that you may have known if you are detailing a car, especially when you are shampooing the carpets, is that it's best to extract using hot water, because what this is going to do is it's going to lift the chemicals out. So even though a large part of extracting is how strong your extractor machine can suck out the chemicals and liquid from the carpets, using that hot water gives that an extra boost on top of that. And so that's what the hot seat is pretty much like. It's a little bit stronger and it also has that heat. So essentially the point that I'm getting at is that it took me about 30% less time to spray off half the car with the hot seat than it did with the AI Volt. But even though the car still hasn't fully dried and we haven't fully inspected it yet, it's actually pretty even between both sides, which the point that I think I'm starting to realize, or that we're going to most likely end up at, is that the AI Volt, well, it's going to be able to get the job done. Now, washing cars is well and wonderful, and that's what I use pressure washers for the most. But one of the things you guys might do is use it to wash something like, well, either the side of the house, pressure wash off some moss, or pressure wash off your driveway. So the next stage that we are going to do, or next test, is I'm going to split this line in half. Now, I'd love to do something where I find dirty concrete and just pressure wash it off, but everything here at my work, I've actually already done that. So I wouldn't be able to give you a fully accurate result because so little would come off that it would be barely noticeable the difference between the two. But with this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply time how long it takes to clean one half with the AI Volt and then how long it takes to clean the other half with the hot seat. After that, we should be able to compare and see the difference between both of those for something that's a little more practical than detailing. One, two, three, four. What was that, 3 seconds? Both of these are completely, well, exactly the same. I don't mind this little section up front. That wasn't part of the test, but each side did it in about freaking 5 seconds. So honestly, you really can't give a winner to either. They're both winners, except that one did it for $4,000 less. I mean, I honestly thought that test might take a little bit longer, but I mean, you gotta... Oh, someone else is here. Well, the car's officially dried itself off and there's no difference between the passenger and the driver's side, as I mean, it's kind of expected. The fact of the matter is that these two pressure washers, despite being drastically different in price and being pretty much the top of the line for electrical pressure washers and also what it could be considered the bottom of the line, they both got the job done. Now, obviously the hot seat does things a little better all around, but why would you buy it? The reality of the situation is that the reason that I bought the hot seat was because I needed that burner. Now, I detail cars and people pay a good price to get their cars detailed, so I want to be able to provide the best possible outcome for what I do. And the biggest thing that the heater does is that it actually melts off grease from the engine bay. And almost solely because of that reason, it makes it so much better compared to pretty much any cold water pressure washer. And to me, it's an investment. I'm getting my money back by the cars that I'm detailing, and it is drastically paying off, but I would never buy it for my personal use. It's bigger, it's a little heavier to move around, and for what I would be normally using it for, like cleaning off a driveway, a quick wash of a car, things like that, even washing a house, it's not worth it. If on one hand I could pay $4,000 and on the other hand I could pay $120 and get the same results for the most part at a bit less efficient, but I get the same results, then why would I not? And that's the intent of the AI Volt in the first place, so you have to commend it for it. It's a pressure washer that legitimately weighs 20 pounds, one finger lifted up. This one weighs 180 pounds. Hold on. Nope, I can't even get it off the ground. I mean, don't worry, I'm strong. It's awkward when you're holding a camera. But this one is perfect for your house. It weighs nothing. It's small. It has a pretty decent pressure coming out of it. It's not just a thumb over a hose type situation, but you're getting decent pressure. You're going to be able to clean off your driveway. It comes with the foam cannon, and even if it doesn't work as well as the professional foam cannon tied with the professional pressure washer, it still gets the soap on there. It does the job. There's no reason not to buy this pressure washer if you really are gonna break it out just a couple times a year. And that's where we're really sitting. This fact that you can spend $4,000 on an electric pressure washer is pretty
pretty insane just to begin with, but you're absolutely getting your use out of this. In fact, the company that we bought it from, which isn't Hotsy, but a distributor for them, they can send out a technician to fix it anytime something goes wrong. Now, you're not gonna do that with a $120 pressure washer, you're just gonna buy a new one, but it shows the investment that the Hotsy pressure washer is. It's not just a, hey, I think this would be nice to get something done around the house, but it's a, hey, I'm running a business and I need the best.